Oh, there's
I've been too black, I've been too white, I've been not enough on both sides. I played tug of war like my whole life, trying to be a bridge and I start a fight. Back in '02, I had a group of friends who were like me, trying to fake a trend. Had skin fades and a nappy head, tried blonde tips with a relaxer rig. I had a whole case of burnt CDs full of NSYNC and Master P. I wore flip-flops with sagging jeans and 8 swirl cones from Dairy Queen. I had a white mom who did cornrows. Dad left, he was a no-show. Fought hard as hell to not be a stat, so some facts we kept on the low. Look, you call me a nigga, that's a no-no. At the ER, that's a chokehold. I was called that in the 6th grade by an old man when I was walking home. I was all alone, I did nothing wrong. The only thing I did was existed. Somehow that gave him permission. So I took that shot with no witness. I took that shot with no witness. I took that shot, listen. I knew some folks who were racist, who would swear to God they weren't racist, but would use me to try and justify the kind of home that they were raised in. Honestly, I don't blame them. Thought it should be me to change it, but that generational root's deep. Only God could really change it. Tried to be a thug, tried to be a prep. Did the C-walk without claiming no set. Got to where I am without making no bets. Trying to live life without making no mess. I'm mixed. Don't get it twisted. I'm mixed. Don't get it twisted. I'm mixed. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. I'm mixed. Yeah. Don't get it twisted.
all right, we ready. Hey y'all, welcome to the live stream. Okay, we're talking money, we're talking green, we're talking all about our business, we're all talking all about getting our money together. This is for inspiring entrepreneurs. And I got JorJor with me because he owns his own business. So I wanted to talk to somebody who's already like been there. So what's up, Georgia? Let me know about your business and like how you started and how's it going and how so where you're at with that right now. So
So, like, what I also do, I guess, as far as my own business goes, is that I actually do moving and junk hauling, serving the Las Vegas Valley. I've been doing since 2021 after an old friend of mine inspired me to get into business ownership, and it's actually been going, pretty well since then. Now, there are definitely like a lot of like challenges that does come along with owning your own business and managing things and staying on top of things. But as they say, a good challenge is going to be a good opportunity in disguise.
I love that. I love that. See, I'm not a business owner, obviously, but I'm a worker. I'm a wage slave, right? You know, I'm just on the clock, working for somebody else's business. But I do want to aspire to have my own business because I've tried and failed. Have you ever have you because they say most businesses fail, right? So it's like, have you had any other business aspirations that you've tried to do but it didn't work out? Because I feel like that's where I'm at. I tried to do like a crystal business, like I'm into like crystals and stuff. I tried to do something like that. I tried to do a cleaning business, like me and one of my friends, and I was like, I can't do business with a friend. Like, I don't know, it just kind of fell apart. So I've had like a couple ideas that I tried to go through with, but it just didn't work out. So did you have that experience as well? Like,
So I could say that I actually have had my own cleaning business before when I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. That was actually going pretty well, though. It's just because of the fact that cleaning is something that's very high in demand, depending on your market. So it's pretty high out here in Clark County, Nevada, as well as anywhere in the Bay Area, though. So it's just kind of like a matter of what your market is, how well you're able to build up your clientele, how well the word of mouth is about your business. But then again, yes, there are times in which like an empire could just fall because like there's just going to be a time where all empires are probably going to fall. But that's just boils down to your good level of like abstract reasoning, problem solving, as far as how to get yourself back up, whether that is, like making sure that you put enough savings behind and probably starting something new. Because, hey, companies go bankrupt, companies go under, companies go AWOL. Sometimes maybe your business may have gotten furloughed, or I guess you could say furloughed. I mean, and so how do you propose to get yourself back on the feet as far as maybe starting something new, starting something else from scratch, and just going from there?
You know what messed me up? Look, you know what messed my own ego because I was like, "Oh, I'm too good for this." I was thinking, "No, I'm too good. I don't want to be cleaning these white folks' toilets and stuff." And not, I thought it was too good, but I'm looking back, I'm like, "Yo, I could have had a very profitable business. Like, if we could have just stuck with it and just kind of." But it was my own ego that messed me up. Like, I'm thinking, but it's like, no, you have to start with what you have. Like, like if you don't have like any like skills or anything, like cleaning is something simple that you could like do, you know what I'm saying? Like I think like starting small is so important, but it was my own ego that messed me up. I feel so stupid. Like look,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh
like
my God, I messed up. I could have been had my own like we could have worked everything out, but it was my own ego really that messed it up in the so that's kind of I should try to start again. So
yeah, because like what that kind of boils down to is like ego and pride is that
it was ego
you're
pride.
already yeah, it's more so that when people do that, and this is something I've also learned as far as business management goes,
Mhm.
is that if if you're letting like your ego and your pride just basically get the best of you,
Ugh,
you
no.
have already predetermined your downfall, by the
You-
way. You've
For
already
real.
predetermined it without even realizing it
You're
because
so
people are going to pick up on that nasty ego driven or prideful vibe from you, and they're not
yeah.
going to believe in you.
That's not like
And if
it. They're not like
people
it.
that you're trying to serve don't even believe in you, then how are you going to succeed? Businesses
Exactly,
succeed because people you're serving believe in it and they believe in you. So if you're walking
exactly.
around over here with this I'm better than you or this superiority complex or whatever ego driven complex you have going on, no one's going to believe in you.
Then yeah,
People are smarter
come
than what
mhm,
people are smarter than what we give them credit for. They're going to
facts.
pick up on that. They're not going to serve you. And so therefore you just predetermined your own downfall.
I agree, and I definitely feel like being humble is so important because okay, anything you start is gonna be small. You're not gonna have this extravagant, you know what I'm saying? Nothing's gonna be just start off like extravagant, and it's gonna start small. Like I think that's why it's important to be humble so you can keep going, so you don't feel like your ego and your own. Oh, I should be further than this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that has really gotten to me. So I'm like, I really want to, because okay, where I'm at right now, my next like adventure that I really want to go because I'm in the restaurant. I work as a manager at a restaurant right now. So I was thinking, 'cause I have some investors and stuff. Like I talked to the investors of the restaurant that invested into the restaurant that I work at right now, and I was telling them like, because out here, there's a big market for like food and stuff. So I really wanted to like maybe own like a restaurant one day. But it's like it's something I would have to start small in and kind of like, it wouldn't be like this. Cause in my head, I'm like, I want to have this beautiful, fancy, amazing, perfect place that's just amazing. But it's like it doesn't start off like that. It starts small. So that's something I really want to work on and like working my way and just keep going and just not like if it's not, like the reality versus expectations kind of thing. And I just don't want to keep setting it's like a self-sabotage thing. If it's not like how I want it to be in my head, it's like I kind of like self-sabotage. So that's something I really want to work on. But I really want to I don't know, I really want to keep going because I've been discouraged so many times. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've tried and failed, but I just really do want to like, how do you keep that persistence? Like, of like, I'm gonna keep going even though like, you had your failures and you had your things that didn't work out. So how do you keep going?
It it boils down to just continuing with the spirit of perseverance. And if you just allow that spirit of perseverance to just continue to flow within you, then you're going to do all right. Because you live in like probably like one of the most wealthiest countries in the world. And
Absolutely.
even for like a bunch of immigrants who come here from like the most impoverished countries end up succeeding probably even a lot more than the average American, if you've noticed. Like when the Filipinos they come here and they establish their business, they're succeeding. When many of the Mexican and Central American businesses, especially the ones out here in Southern Nevada, where they come here and they open up maybe a new Roberto's taco shop, it's succeeding.
Mhm.
They're
Exactly.
doing very well. Let alone is that they're very family focused as well,
Absolutely.
and they
And
come from yes, very much third world countries, but they also come here and succeed because they continue with that spirit of perseverance. They're always feeling like like discouraged and everything. Then there's not going to really be much of a Roberto's taco shop out here that's doing well.
Absolutely.
And you have to be willing to, yeah, maybe get your hands a little bit dirty though, and be able to take those baby steps before the major steps are taken. But all that's going to happen within incremental steps.
I wanted to talk about that sense of community that comes with a business. Do you feel like you know how us as like biracial mulatto people, how we're just now starting to form like a sense of community? And does that feel like it affects your business? Hey, hybrid, hello, welcome. But does that feel like it affects like your business? Like that sense of that lack a sense of community, because I know like when it comes like black owned, I support black owned business, you know what I'm saying? Because I do want to see, black people well off financially. And I support that, but it's like we don't really have that, like, oh, a biracial owned business or a mulatto owned business. And we don't really have that sense of like, we're gonna support our
Well,
own type of thing. I
well,
feel
guess what though? Is that it's just also boils down to healing and just being able to uplift one another though. But if you can do those two things, then there will be that, that biracial or mixed race or mulatto or even HAPA owned business. But all also boils down to just a sense of a collective agency. If you can get that, such as what you see out here with the Koreans, the Mexicans, and the Filipinos, then we'll be able to do that. And because one thing that I've noticed about us, at least here in America, is that we all fall into that individualistic mindset that is just so heavily embraced by the American culture. A lot of us, let's keep it real, we're very individualistic people
facts.
within like biracial or mulatto mixed race circles. But if you can just let go of that toxic aspect of American culture, we'll be fine. Because here, the Mexicans they don't have that. The Koreans, the Filipinos, they don't have this individualistic mindset. Otherwise, they wouldn't get to where they are today. So if
Facts.
you
We
can
need
just
each
get rid
other.
of
We need
that,
each
you'll be
other.
fine though. But just so many of us out here tend to be scattered all over the place. We
Yep.
have too much of that fitting in mentality. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's not going to be no mulatto owned business if we keep doing that. But thank God there's potential to overcome that. It just takes strong will, uplifting, and encouragement.
All right,
And
there's
then
2.
plus, by the last thing I will say this though, before anyone says anything, is that I even have like my own manager of the company. Now,
Mhm,
he's not a mulatto, he's a mestizo, but he's
mhm.
a really good from basically that Mexican mestizo family that's all about business and also community mindset. So
Yep,
I just adopt basically things that I've learned from his household and I applied it to our business. And since
love
then,
that.
we're doing fine.
Love
Even
that.
like earlier last year, though, we were booming, we were stable, we were on top of it, we were knocking out clients. We even got our first moving gig all the way to Arkansas and Missouri. It was going well. But yes, some things did happen which kind of caused us to come back. But however, Lord always has a comeback put in place for whatever your setbacks were.
Absolutely, that's something that we talk about all the time is, like, adapting the best of our cultures and leaving out the worst, and we could apply that to business. We could tie that to business practices of, like, learning from the best business practices to how things are working out, and we could apply that to our business. I love that, I love that. So there's 2, biracial-owned businesses I wanted to showcase and promote real fast. Let me share my screen real quick. Hold on, let me share my screen. I'm gonna go over here to so the first one is the company that I'm an ambassador for, which is the Mosaic label, right? And I'm gonna be doing an interview with her soon. But this is amazing, like lifestyle brand. And I got a discount code for it and everything. So I love this one, like the mixed tune. Have you ever bought anything from them, JorJor? I think oh my god, I got a discount code, but these little hoodies, I wear this hoodie every
I
day to my job. Every single day.
I
Like I love
honestly haven't.
you.
I haven't,
Check
but
it out.
I know that she is a sweet girl and she has
She's
shouted out
amazing.
my page before, but then that's about it. But I've never bought
Yeah,
anything from her
Brittany,
company.
these are her lifestyle.
But yeah,
I love
Brittany's a sweet girl.
mixed
She's nice,
tune.
but yeah, I still have yet to buy anything from her.
Man, it's really good. Like this is I'll tell you the things that I got. I got the Virginia versus Loving. I bought this one. I bought this, the Virginia versus Loving, like the 1967 Virginia versus Loving shirt. I got this one. This one's my favorite, the Camilla Megan, the powerful biracial. I got this one. My husband wears this one all the time. I got this one for my husband. It's so cute. And yeah, these little lifestyle brands. I think I love it. Like I feel so empowered by it. I feel like it's an amazing that, it's pretty rare still to see like brands that want to cater specifically to mixed people. It's kind of rare. It's still like super niche, even though we're such like a growing population. So it's really cool that she's doing this, and I think that's really important for us that there's people who are really thinking about us and want to cater to us and to our specific needs that we need because she's all about like embracing that we're whole, embracing all of us. So that's what I love. And that's what we're all about too. We're all about embracing all of us.
Exactly.
We are embracing our
Well,
identity. So
first of all, it starts off with having my attitude, which is I don't like working for other people at all.
yeah. You hustle
I
mentality.
haven't worked for somebody in a long time, to be quite frank with you.
Hey, that's
But
what's
then
up.
if you can actually build, oh, sorry, somebody tried to call me, so I had to decline the call. So,
Okay.
like, if somebody also shares my same like sentiment, and then the next person and the next person does, then imagine what we could all do collectively speaking.
Exactly. So this is the next biracial owned. She reached out to me. So she is a therapist, guys. She's a biracial therapist. So we have options out there. We talk about sorry, we talk about mental health all the time. And we talked about this, how we don't there's not too many biracial people who understand, our specific needs and our specific issues. So I'm just saying somebody reached out to me. So we have this option here. She's saying that she's biracial and that I'm going to be using her services for real, for sure, because I'm all about mental health, staying mentally healthy. She's a life coach, but she's a life coach. She's in Arizona too. So this is her. I'm gonna go down to she has this little thing. So therapeutic coaching, and I'm gonna be leaving all of the websites and stuff but this is her right here. She's a life coach and a psychotherapist, but more importantly, have experience to overcome many issues. She's managed. So this is her. She's amazing. I'm gonna be using her services soon. So anybody out there that wants to have like a biracial therapist, and she's in Arizona. This is her company as well too. A Beautiful Mind Therapy. She specializes in women issues. So any biracial woman that wants like a biracial therapist. So definitely I'm gonna be using her services and be promoting her. Anybody that want to come out to me, I'm gonna be promoting you guys. I want people to be aware. It's about awareness, about like what's out there. What are our resources? Who's out there who's actually trying to cater to us, who's actually trying to help us. So we have people out there who are trying to cater to us and actually want to help us, actually be of service, because it's all about service, right? It's all about us being of service to each other and us, like we're an underserved population. So there's so much we could be doing to serve and help each other and uplift each other and be right.
A good way is to think of the whole group as a kind of organism, and different
Hmm.
people are provide certain functions for that organism, right?
Right.
Just like you have a heart and you have a liver,
Exactly.
and you have different these are different services that we provide,
Mhm.
and then we keep it in, right? And we need to refer
Exactly.
that when we refer to services, we refer to people who, of course, are in our who are within our group.
Exactly. We all have different lanes. We all have different specialities. We all have different ways of service. I really do want to have like a restaurant or something one day. That's something I really want to strive to accomplish and do one day. So that's something that I'm trying to prepare myself for because I know I've had my failures in the past. I just want to take along with me like what can I learn from that? Like I said, I got to be humble because you start small, right? You're not going to be just everything doesn't happen overnight. So, and being patient with things, right? And not giving up and being persistent. Like these are some really and having the work ethic and the skills and the habits that create success. Like that's something I'm
And
trying to
the culture that
and
reinforces it.
the culture, right? The culture is like who you're around, who's actually trying to like strive and actually trying to accomplish the things as well, like who you're around. That's so important. So
Because I have a
important.
friend that his name is Modi. Out of our friends, he was never like the brightest guy, but his parents, they're Indian and they're very like strict. They're very traditional. And yeah, I mean, he's a doctor now. He's a practicing doctor, but um, again, he's not in the family. It's like a prestigious thing within that group that we're all doctors kind of thing, and so they all
Mhm.
push on their kids, and they all. I mean, when I was a kid, like this guy would wake up with like with the books on him. Like we'd be sleeping, we wake it up. It's like Saturday morning, and like his mother put like the books on his stomach. So yeah,
Oh, wow. I
Yep,
love
he's like, yeah,
that.
yeah, the city right away. It's like that, yeah.
I do
Hungover,
wanna
remember
build that
hungover? Like,
culture within
but
us,
but yeah, so there's sometimes certain, yeah, certain groups have certain, like, and I'm sure Jewish people do this too. There's certain prides and certain, like, yeah, pride in
Exactly. I
there,
was gonna talk
and
about
it's
that.
passed down to
Mhm.
generate within that group, right?
I was gonna talk about that because I feel like I'm inspired by Jewish people so much because, we look to them because 'cause they're so tight-knit and they're so good with money and they're so good with,
Well,
like,
how did they get like
circulating
that?
money
That's
within their
important.
community, right? What'd you say?
And a good question was, well, how did they have to get like that?
Exactly, exactly.
I can answer that. Learn economic and financial literacy. So like the first thing I like to ask you, even like Priscilla though, is well, like how do many of those families end up becoming like millionaires by the time they hit retirement? You know how to do it?
How do you do
Well,
it? Saving money?
More than just that though, is what comes along
investing.
with that.
If you
Let
you
me
can't
know
get
because I wanna know. I'm here to learn.
Even more than just investing though, even though investment is definitely a key to like a millionaire status in the future.
Investing.
Keep going and keep going. We're
I
keep
don't
fishing.
know.
There's a
Saving,
well,
special word that I'm
investing.
looking for.
owning.
Owning? Owning?
That's another one. Yeah, that's it, bud. But
Ugh.
learn
Uh,
how to. I can tell you this when it comes to I guess the Jews who managed to really become like millionaires, such as like John D. Rockefeller, who started off as a bum, to be honest, until he became a billionaire.
But
mhm.
What
yeah,
you
but he
have
was
to do
also
now is that you have to learn how to accommodate compound interest. You have to
On
use the
interest.
number 72 and you have to divide that by the amount of years you have left to retire, and that'll
Mhm.
give you your interest rate. And then, so at your specific age, Priscilla, you and your husband would actually have to start saving at least maybe 300 a month up until you've reached the age of retirement. Just
Mhm.
watch that money double over the course of time, and you and him will become millionaires.
What
It's
about, like,
something that my mom wanted to do, but she's told me she couldn't because she was a single mother. But that's
yeah, what about
precisely the
well,
method
more
that
than
John D. Rockefeller did, and that's how he hit billionaire status. It's a secret trick that a lot of people don't want you knowing about.
so what about inflation and stuff and the, dollar losing its value? What about that? Is that what
I wanted to say something about the Jews.
Oh, yeah, go
I was
ahead.
thinking more in terms of how they were kind of stuck being dependent on each other when they came here, like as being separate. Like they came here as their own people, and they were somewhat ostracized, and so they were forced to. Because of that, they're forced into the kind of the same box circle. They were forced to work together, and even like yeah, like and basically to benefit themselves, to hire themselves when they need a job, to hire themselves when what I mean, as opposed to white people. And over time, they got a habit of doing that and working together, even when a lot of them are not fully Jew, they're half Jew, they're mixed, but they still kept that tradition together. That now it's almost like they just function as a really much more efficient organism as a group than other groups.
So, what can we learn from that? We can learn that we need to work together, right? That we need
Collectivity,
to
yeah. We need to be
activity.
able to recognize each
Figure
other.
out how to do that. Mhm. We definitely need to learn how to do that because
Uplift and teach economic and financial literacy, such as like the rule of 72 that I just pointed out to you.
absolutely. We need to focus on our economic empowerment, right? That's how we're gonna become powerful because we want to get all these things. We want to have like recognition. We want to be acknowledged. We want to have our own category. We want to have all these things, but it's gonna take economic empowerment to get there. We can't do anything without money. Money is power in this country, right? So it's like
Yep,
that's
money
Right.
talks. And
money is
like, yeah, I guess when you said like you express a concern for inflation, don't worry about that because inflation isn't going to stop you from saving. And it unless probably like some dirty crooks come into your savings account and they just tweak around your interest rate, then yeah, we could start talking about that. But legally speaking, they can't do that.
Oh, Jose
Because
said, "Can you
that's
speak
what
a
we're
little
saying.
louder? Hybrid, please. Put your
Oh, me
volume
speak louder?
up." Yeah.
Does it sound low to you?
Yeah, he said it sounds low.
Oh, to you.
You
Yeah, a
know,
little bit.
Well, whatever they're hearing is through. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, I think that it's gonna take the illiteracy, the financial literacy to get there. And the knowledge is power, right? And I do want, I have a family. I want to be able to pass down things to my children, pass down knowledge, pass down, wisdom, pass down money, pass down a business. That's a goal of mine. So I definitely want to be around people who are like-minded that wanna do the same things and wanna pass down things to their children, and so
Definitely.
mhm,
And by the way, you need at least an interest rate of 1.9% in your savings account. So
yeah,
hopefully, whatever bank that you decide to go to, that you and your hubby can at least save at least a total of 282 per month
mhm.
within that savings account with a 1.9% interest rate. Just watch that double over time, and then you're going to very much see your money basically triple into the thousands upon the thousands. That's actually how you do it.
Oh, yeah, I want you to tell me about the book that you showed me. What was it called? What was some of the key notes and stuff that you learned from that book, like, that you recommended for people to start on this journey of, like, financial literacy and stuff like that? So what was that book that you were telling me about?
It was called How Money Works by Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold.
Okay.
And I was also basically like regurgitating like points that were also learned in that book. And then also because if we really kind of also look at it though, is that like, like financial illiteracy is definitely costing us, at least here in the US, like billions of dollars annually.
Oh,
And that's actually is what's causing like government agencies and like any other agency that you may work for, it's causing them to leverage the ignorance, and
Mhm,
it's kind of causing them to basically gain and basically up their stocks, up their business, and up their money just because of
mhm.
the fact that we're just so ignorant of how money works. That's how
I
they
Exactly.
find a lot of
leverage.
I
They
find a
will
lot of
leverage that
black
against us.
are I find a lot of black people are not like even my family. There was like I had to learn every any all that
Facts.
outside.
It's not to say I was
None.
thinking that
There was
too.
nothing about
Quickly.
owning versus renting, nothing about saving, nothing about everything. All I've
Absolutely.
read, all I know is I had to read like a I think I read like a economics for dummies. That's pretty much
I was thinking the
like
same
as
thing
much
because
studying I did
Mhm.
on that.
I do
But
think that
Basic
even if you
Economics
know
by
that
Thomas Sowell is
common
where to
sense,
start.
common
that's
sense,
the first
and
part.
things that
Okay.
right now it's like, well, common sense. If you the earlier you know that, then so much more you're going to save because you can just buy something which you can invest in,
Brilliant.
put on the side, it's going to grow. But if you don't know that, you know,
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
think that. But I know yeah, so the people I grew up with, my family was pretty ignorant, so there was absolutely none of that. I got nothing from my family, and so
Same.
I had to figure that trial and error. But I'm saying I think the black community altogether is really bad for that. They don't have
I
the
agree.
mindset is they've not been taught. Yeah, and
And
there's
I think
certain
that should
values
be
if
our
they're taught
number
early,
one
those can make differences on their
priority.
decisions later because
Mhm.
they're understanding. Oh, don't just rent. Make sure you get something that you own, that you have it. It's
Mhm.
yours. Own it, and that
Exactly.
will itself make money for you. Because once you get money,
Yep.
money makes money for you, right?
Absolutely, and I think that
And
should be our
use
number
yeah,
one priority. As
but
mulatto
also like and also like prior to like 1965, that was already a thing, especially like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where black creditors came in, people who were great in economics came in, and when they actually taught like their people like financial and economic literacy, places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, was very much profiting, and they were very much succeeding. But until like things like welfare states started to come in and just
Yes.
basically like the nanny mindset started to just take fold, then yes, all that stuff went under. But a lot of people, every group is affected by that out here, though. But yes, it definitely is pretty much of a common thing in Black American communities, especially given like the population size. But then again, there's always potential to get out of that abyss, but it just takes strong will.
It also has to do, think also just leftist ideology too. Leftist ideologies, they don't talk about that. Like it's very ownership is a very right wing thing, right? Property and the idea part like that. Those are very. It's much more right wing values. I feel they focus on that more. Where, of course, in the left you have government dependence. It's more. It's much more of a it's a dependent
or like the
system.
government handout type of
But
thing.
because they're
Against
on the
that.
left, they don't learn those values that they probably should. I'm saying that would help them if they did.
Mhm. We do need to take best of both values. We do need that. We need to definitely be able to own our property, own land, own our homes, own things, so we could pass them. That's how you build generational wealth, right? We want to build. We're all about families and generational wealth, and that's something that we're. I think that should be our number one priority as a people is building our money, building our wealth. Like that's our power is money. Like your money is power. So that's something that should be our number one priority is getting it right, getting that right. If we have a group that's economically empowered, then we could have protection. We could have those laws, those laws, because it takes money to do this. People aren't doing this stuff for
And
they're
then you
being
can invest
really.
in other
We
Mulata
can
people if
invest in
they
like
like power.
lawyers. We can invest in like all these things that would help us out. Like in like the protection like that's something I'm really want us to pass one day. Protection laws for biracial people and mixed race people in a country that, has historically discriminated against mixed race people for being biracial, has historically had laws preventing us from existing. So of course they're going to discriminate against people like us. But I do want us to have those type of protection laws. Like if anybody says anything hate speech. So I do want us to like get our money up and get our economic power up, because I don't want it to just because keep happening and then people feel I don't want people to do it out of sympathy, because nobody sympathizes, nobody really cares, because we're such a we don't really have any power. Nobody really
Yeah, we're
you
small,
we're
yeah,
such a small
and nobody
community. Yeah,
cares about us really because we're just like, yeah.
nobody's in here feeling sorry for us about anything, and that's okay. They don't have to. It's up to us to step up and actually empower ourselves. Okay, because nobody else is going to give us nothing. Like that's just a facts of it. Nobody's going to give us anything, and we have to be the ones to just really get up there and be smart and just make the most of what we have. What we start with what we have, right? We have we have a lot. We have a lot in this day and age. We have the internet, we have all these resources, we have each other, we have other people who are willing to network with us. We have a lot to work with. So it's like we just got to utilize it the best we can so we could keep like climbing up, the ladder of economic empowerment. So that's what I'm trying to, get us to focus on. I think that's the most important thing. So what y'all think about that?
Most definitely. So, I actually had to step off for a little bit though, but I kind of pretty much heard most of what you guys were saying.
I was saying about how like economic empowerment, how we need that, because nobody's gonna feel sorry for us if nobody's gonna like just hand us and give us these protection laws and stuff like that we want for our people, like against like hate crimes and stuff like that. Like nobody's just gonna give it to us. Like we need money. We
Oh,
need.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing's just going to be handed to you though. You actually have to work for it though. And actually, like speaking about that, so like when a lot of like poor immigrants from Eastern Europe, and then I guess you say hi, Ricky mentioned the Jews. So more importantly, like Eastern European Jews who were much poorer than like Western European Jews, when they immigrated here, they pretty much started from nothing. There was no welfare state, but when they established that collective like mindset and just opening up their businesses, basically starting from nothing, those businesses ended up thriving, and many of them are still thriving to this very much, to this very much this day. So if you can just emulate those models, then we'll be fine. It's going to take
Exactly.
some time,
Hmm.
but again, like patience is virtue, as they say, or patience
Absolutely.
is a
That's
virtue. But
exactly who
yeah,
I want to emulate, because they're a small population too. They're still a small minority, but they still was able to empower themselves. They didn't need like just like us. We don't really have the numbers. We don't really have like that's something we don't really have. But they
so,
they didn't have the numbers either. But they were still able to manage to work together and
They were
actually
in a very
so
they were
actually, we have more than enough numbers. By the way, though, it just
have.
is boils down to collective willingness and strong will, because our numbers are actually doubling by the decade. So there's plenty of us. There's a lot more than us still. But then again, it just boils down to that individualistic mindset that we all
It's
have going
about
on.
us not really recognizing that we're a people still too. Because just like remember that post I did about Tia, she was saying, she more identifies with and all of us do, you know what I'm saying? And that people are gonna identify with, with being a black woman or being a black, but at the end of the day, we are our own people. And that's just the facts. And it's so hard for us to accept that because we've been one because of the one drop rule, and that's preventing us from having our own collectivity of us coming together and because it's honestly one-sided
because
support. We are more than willing to, support black owned businesses all day. But if we were like, oh, this is a biracial owned business, how many black people do you think would support it? I don't think that it would really be.
None,
I don't think it
none.
would.
But
we need
just
that
to
10%.
speak about
That's
that,
why we
although many are
know.
going to actually come, like, yes, in full opposition about that, guess what? That's not going to matter though, because I think there's a handful of people out there that actually like us. But until that collective
Well,
agency and that strong will is actually established, then a lot of people will actually start showing an outpouring level of support
absolutely.
for for us still. But then like let's just keep in mind, like give an example here. So like yes, shout out to Mulatta Mermaid, because if you look at her page, it's made it to 12,000 followers.
I got some a lot of
And
mermaid.
so a lot of
Congratulations, girl. Yay.
exactly though. So and again, she has a controversial word in there, Mulatta. We get how controversial and polarizing that word is, but guess what? Like so
Drop it.
far, 1 million people have seen her material. Most of them like it,
Love
and her
it.
page just keeps growing. So
Love
if people can dig that, then they can most certainly dig us in our name
Mhm.
with or without the support of the Black community.
Exactly, exactly, and I do think that,
So
mhm.
haters are
You
going to
can also
hate. That's just something that you have to realize. But that's not going to matter though, because that should actually give you the inspiration to keep going.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I wanted to talk about so I seen this debate on another channel, and they were saying, "Does staying black-owned business help or hurt your business?" And I was talking about with some people. Some people think that, oh, if you say black-owned business, only black people will support it, and nobody else will, and that your business is gonna fail, or people will only support it out of pity and maybe come there one time. But I'm saying, like, I think that where's the line? Because we want like a community support, but you also need people outside of your community, unless you're only catering, unless it's like a niche thing where it's like only specific. But if say like a restaurant, like I want everybody to come to my business, right? Not just the biracial people, or I'd want everybody of all races to come to my business. But it's like, but I do want my community. We do need the community support from our own, and we do need outside so it can thrive too, because we don't live in a vacuum. So I was thinking like it should be quality, right? We should it's like we need the quality to make sure that we're gonna have everybody be able to come to our business, right? But actually we want to, I don't know, represent our community well too. Cause if we are gonna be like a biracial or mulatto owned business, we want it to like represent our community as well, right? So my whole
well,
question is, yeah, go
But
ahead.
just plenty of people are going to definitely come to us though,
Mhm,
because I mean, like everybody who comes to Roberto's Taco Shop out here, in fact, most
mhm.
people are not even Mexican or Central American. It's
Exactly,
just like
exactly.
ordinary, like white people or black people or Asian people, though everybody goes. They actually want everybody to go to their business. But then, yes, they definitely still make it known that it's a Mexican owned business. And they're very much proud of that. There's that little bit of that ethnocentric quality to it. But nevertheless, they still want everybody to come.
almost like you want a dog whistle, like a kind of symbol that they see. Hey, that's a mulatto. That they kind of the other people don't really have to see it too much, and it's not important to them, but they'll see it, kind of thing. Because I mean,
Mhm.
the Jews made money off everybody. They didn't make
The
businesses that
money of
only served
everybody,
them, but
exactly.
everybody used their businesses. But what they did is they made sure that the money stayed in their communities. They didn't let it go out, right? Or the black community, there's so little money that they have to kill another person just to make money because there's
Mhm.
there's too
Yeah,
many people that
sadly,
need the money.
right?
That's why you end up with that with the very toxic situation that they have, right, with the murders.
Right. And it's like, how would we be able to do that? Like, how would it, because it's like we don't really recognize each other as our own, really, like that.
Yeah, and but the Jews have a
Anyway,
strong sense of identity, a really strong in comparison. And that's because they also have a religion, remember? So they also have this other thing that ties them together
yeah,
on
the
top
religion,
of the. So they
absolutely.
have right on top of
Mhm.
the already genetic reasons, right? So it's like a double. It's like a double, right? So they have that connection, then they have on top of it this other. And that's what really we don't have. We don't have our own kind of mythos, our own. Yeah,
Exactly. We don't. And Jose
yeah.
said, if you have a business which addresses a need which people have, it will thrive. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm so proud of, these biracial people who are stepping up, addressing like our mental health needs and addressing like our fashion needs, because it's like our being represented in fashion and being able to be proud of like who we are and be like we're whole. Like I love like we have needs that people are stepping up and trying to like, fill, and I love it, and it's like so needed, and it just makes me proud. It makes me really proud that we're stepping up. I see it. I see it more and more. I see it more and more, and I'm really proud of us as a community, and it just makes me happy. And I just want us to just support each other. I think we are like, the therapist, I'm definitely going to be using her services for sure. And I encourage other people to reach out to her. I got her website down there, so I'm be promoting her, and definitely gonna be putting on. I'm gonna put my discount code for the
Yeah,
Mosaic.
definitely. And also, like, shout out to her too.
Did you reach out to her?
I haven't, but I have her information saved.
User entered
Yeah,
your
reach out to
channel.
her, because I'm gonna be putting money in her pocket. I think definitely for sure. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that's a need, like having like a life, because her whole thing was helping people reach their
User
potential. And I'm
disconnected
like,
from
that's
your
something that I
channel.
want. I want to be able to reach my potential,
User entered your
stop my like
channel.
self-sabotage stuff and all my little whatever mental blocks or
User
whatever. I want to work through
disconnected
all
from
of
your
that so I
channel.
could actually like be the person, be like a business owner, be the person I want to be. And I'm gonna be interviewing Brittany coming Tuesday. I'm so excited for that because she's a woman, she's a mother, and I'm gonna be talking to her about like I want to know like what is it, how is it balancing motherhood with like running a business, and I'm excited to be talking about that. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be interesting because being a woman and a mother and trying to run a business, it's a lot to juggle. So I'm definitely gonna be happy to be talking to her about that. So excited, very excited for that. Very excited. So what are you okay? So what are your guys's like aspirations? Like what are your guys' goals for like your business or goals for like money goals or any goals you guys got what you guys are working on right now?
Teaching that to the next generation, if they can just jot down just those basic economics and basic finances, which I also recommend starting off with Thomas Sowell's basic economics, then we're all going to be ahead of the curve because let's just keep it real here. This life that we have on this planet is very short. It's going to end sooner than you know it. We just actually have to face that hard fact. But if we can just keep that spirit of education in the financial and economic department going, then we will actually be able to have that generational wealth and just that collective mindset or just that community driven spirit going so that our people can actually succeed. So that's very much is my goal. But since I already understand it, my goal would be is just to teach that to my kids. Hopefully I have
Yep.
them soon someday. And I
Mhm.
just hope that you could teach it to your kids, your amazing son and your two daughters, and so on and so
I got
forth.
two sons and one daughter. I got two boys and a girl.
Oh, I mean, sorry,
Two
yeah, I mean
girls.
like the two boys and then your
Mhm.
daughter.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So
And
if you
it's
can just
so
instill those
mhm.
precepts, just instill those precepts into them, they'll be ahead of the curve.
Jose said, I have owned my home for 5 years. New Yorker programs. I love that. I love that. We got to take advantage of those types of resources and stuff that help people own things. I love that. I love it. And this is so empowering, and encouraging for me because it's bigger than us, right? Because it's like you said, getting out of that individual mindset where it's like, the whole, typical American dream. It's like, I'm just going to be rich and just whatever. It's not really counting other people, but it's like, no, it's bigger than us. It's about like being of service to other people. I love being of service. I love what I do. I love my little restaurant job. I love it. Like I really enjoy it. And I do want to, it's just bigger than us. We have a sense of community that we want to serve and that we want to help, that we want to, be empowered to help. And it just feels good. So go ahead, Hybrid. What are some of your goals you're working on right now?
Oh, goals in regards to what?
So like
Like
any money goals or like financial goals or anything like that you're working towards right now?
personally?
Yeah,
It
personally
could
or
be
community.
personal that can, transfer to everybody else collectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about my personal information, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't got to product.
I mean, like in terms of the group, I mean, I
In
have
terms
an
of a group, you can
understanding in
say yeah,
regards
in terms of
to
a group. What do you think what should
different
be?
things that you can teach. I mean, I believe you need I believe you need almost like a kind of school, like almost like how we go to school. We need a system which a certain set of values are reinforced, and we don't have that. Whether it's ritual, whether it's like meditation once a week, whether it's some way of some kind of ritual, something that reinforces the values that we want, and that has to come from us. Like we have to put energy into it. We can't just um, yeah, we have to put energy into it or we'll just die. It's not something we can expect to just happen on its own, but we have to actively go out
Right.
there and encourage people. And we have to create, and we also want to create a system, even within our groups of um, help, making sure like maybe other people have I don't know, motivation, motivating each other just to make sure like to be at our very best or to, to be up on time or whatnot. Or I
Like
think I want to get into
accountability
later is
partners.
within group social networks for people. Let's say you need help or something. We have networks of people that can help support you. That will help
I love that. We need
keep you
like
on road.
accountability partners and people are trying to hold us. Like if we have a goal or something, they're trying to like keep us
Yeah,
accountable to like
and
reach
I
that
think we
goal.
got to start doing that even with what we're doing here. Kind of maybe community goals, maybe like a goal for a year. By the end
I
of
like
this
that.
year, yeah.
Community goals. I love that. We do need community goals. My community goal is for us to all be able to like own some type of business for ourselves. Like, say it could be small, like a dog walking, anything small that we're just being self-sufficient on right now. That's kind of my community goals that I'd want for us, So it's
Like
kind of
in
like,
terms of our online community, I think it's incomplete. Like we can use somebody maybe who does know about finance, somebody who can train, train
yeah,
others who are here, for relatively low, for what little we pay to get the person to get his channel functioning and then help us and
mhm.
teach us. We need things like that. I think we need here. We can use that.
So how
We
about
can
we
use
think like,
people with
we have our
different skills
discords.
to teach each other the different skills, kind of thing, like internal training.
That'd be good. Maybe like every so often we come together and like share, like we're working on our individual goals of like money and stuff. We come together and share what are we learning. But we do need some type of like system that's like, hey, this is what works. This is what we're gonna do. This is what works to help with this area. And then, we all have different fields and stuff that we're in that we could like, if somebody did want to get in that field, they could like share their information they know and something like that, right? We do need some type of like system where we're all sharing with each other what we know and empowering each other and teaching each other what works. And I like that. Yeah, we do need something like that, and we
if
do.
if you're learning something, one of the best ways to learn something is to teach it, right? Because if you can teach it, that's how you know if you know it. And
Facts.
so if people
Mhm,
are learning something already, a way of studying is just creating a presentation in which you can at
mhm.
least present what you've learned, how it is to other people, and that's a way to pass on, and then somebody can listen to that, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on.
I like that. I like that a lot. I do like that. So maybe JorJor one day he could like, do a presentation of how he started his business and stuff like that, so we could know. So yeah.
And then again, like once you start, please refer back to the earlier suggestion as far as figuring out how much your interest rate is going to have to be in your savings account, and then start stacking and just watch yourself become a millionaire within the decades, maybe even sooner if you're lucky.
Yeah, definitely. What so the book name the book one more time because I'm gonna get it. Let me go Amazon. I'm gonna go to Amazon and buy it. What's it called again?
It's called How Money Works by Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold.
Mm. How money work. Okay, perfect. All right. Anybody got any I feel very empowered and motivated. And so how that's a question I wanted to ask. So it's like our mindset, right? So what do you think is like the right mindset to have when it comes to money? Because I feel like so many people we have, especially when it comes to like religion, right? When it comes to religion, a lot of people think that money is evil and money and like that's something that a lot of people are taught. So what is like your mindset towards money? Is it like it's just a tool, right? But it's like we have
Worshipping,
to,
The idea of
worshipping money.
power
So,
and
so
trust.
worshipping money is where it's really becoming the root of all evil. You idolize it, you put it over anyone else. Now, there's nothing wrong with making some good money off of your hard work, but yeah, worshipping it, that's where it's becoming an issue.
or you better say hybrid. Let me
Oh, it's okay. I don't remember.
My
so
bad.
worshiping it. So worshiping money, like that.
Worshipping money, doing dirty business deeds, doing it for nefarious reasons, that's where it's really becoming the root of all evil. But when you actually, yes, you gain your money, though, you give back to good causes, that's actually when
Mhm.
you actually need the money in order to produce something for the common good.
Yup.
Because, like the Amish, so like there are actually millionaire Amish people,
Oh wow.
and they actually handle their money very well. They invest in their businesses, they actually help out their own, they uplift their own, and a lot of them, if they need like any kind of medical attention, they'll actually help pay. But then again, they'll reinvest in order to also keep their money doubled over
Mhm.
just the generations of accumulating wealth and also accumulating compound interest. But yeah, there are some
Absolutely.
millionaire Amish who do that out there in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
That's so
And
cool.
knowing this information, it's so easy compared to like somebody who works like their whole life, and all you got to know is just know a little bit about investing, and you can double, triple that just by like a little information. Some people
Absolutely.
work their whole life and never
That's
learn how to do that, never learn how to invest.
Absolutely. You gotta know how to use it. Have you guys seen that one meme that's like there's like a stack of ladders, but it's like if you don't know how to use it, then you're never gonna get anywhere basically. So it's like it's kind of like that. It's like it's just knowing what to do with the information and how to apply it. correctly and properly. So that's something that we're all. I do want us to really take this seriously. I want us to be, have a wealthy class of like mulatto people that could actually like that are actually invested into our causes and invested in like creating things and making our lives better. That are actually trying to look out for us as people. And I think that is something that I really do want to project into the future and create in the future, and something that we're creating right now. I hope people who are listening or catch a playback, they feel encouraged and motivated to want to be a part of that. I want to be that type of you know you
Most
know
definitely.
we need those orphanages,
So
right? We need those people. We need those orphanages made. We want people. I want to be able to adopt, like how us as mulatto people, we're the number one in foster care systems and stuff like that. So it's like we need money to be able to adopt these children. I want to be able to do things like that for our people. That we need those. We need that. Yeah.
exactly.
All this
Mhm.
stuff
So
gets a lot better
um,
once we could be our own parents, right? It's really hard for
Mhm.
us when we're first generational because we don't have any, like, we're just kind of coming off being born out of two other races and people who don't identify with us like that. And so it's like
Exactly.
that's why it's so hard for us to get going. You got to have that. Once you have the second generation, you can put all those ideals in the children so they'll already have them by the time they're older, right? And a sense of
Exactly.
identity.
Exactly. I agree with that.
totally, exactly. Also, so
Mhm.
I am gonna have to step off
Okay.
soon. But if there's any kind of closing that you would like to say,
All
go
right.
for it, or anybody. But yeah, you guys can continue with the stream. But yeah, it's also something unexpected happened. But I'm glad we made time to do this. But anything you two would like to say before I head off?
So
No,
I think
I'm
I
good. I just came to put my 2 cents in, really, just kind of like.
Yep. I think it was a good stream. I think we should really take it seriously. If we really are about like empowerment for our people and our communities, we definitely need to take money seriously and owning our own businesses seriously. I think that's the number one way that we're gonna, you know, empower ourselves. So we have to be willing to put in the work and learn. Like it's all about our information. It's all about learning. Getting the books, getting the literacy first, and supporting our community. Have that collectivism, like you said, and be willing to reinvest into our community. We don't want to just get rich and just screw everybody else, right? Like nobody else matter but me. Like we don't want to have that sense of individualistic that nobody else matters. We want to. It's bigger than us. Okay, it's bigger than us. It's affecting multiple generations. It's affecting more lives than you. Like you empowering yourself will have the power to reach out to so many people and improve their lives. And that's the type of mindset we should have. That it's just bigger than us. It's bigger than us. And I think that I'm going to end it on that. And I'm really looking forward to the future. And I know that we're such a capable, amazing, smart, intelligent people that we are. There's so many wonderful things that we could do. And we have,
Most definitely.
resources. We have the people aware of. That's what my channel is all about, just spreading awareness of these different businesses and people who are trying to service and trying to help us. And that's what we're all here to do, to just be of service to each other at the end of the day. So anything else you guys want to add to that?
Pick up on as many side hustles as you can. That's
Okay,
also how you start from the ground up. But then those
mhm,
side hustles can turn into something even greater and better.
mhm. I like that because I'm starting from the ground up. Like me, I'm not nowhere. I'm working a regular job right now. So I'm
I've
starting from the
survived
ground
off
up.
just side hustles for a
Mhm.
long time.
I like that, and I'm just, I am starting and I'm just setting my goals in place and just thinking about the future and thinking about. So yeah, everybody who's where I'm at, we're here, we're doing this together. Okay, we're all in this together, and we're gonna get there. Just have like that faith in yourself, right, and that self belief, and you don't have no self doubt in yourself, and just know that you're gonna learn. You can learn. You're totally more than capable in doing everything you need to do to get where you're at. And anybody who told you otherwise is wrong. So yeah.
User entered your channel.
Hey James, why are you always coming in at the last second? Why
Missed
you
out,
always,
James.
you always coming in at the last second? Popping up. Ignore the haters, James. Focus on your goals. Period. Let me see what you were saying, James. I'm tired of Mom telling us we can't have our own group. I agree with
User
that, man. We
disconnected from
will.
your channel.
We will. I think it's just what's best for us. We're just trying to form a healthy sense of community for us. And it's just what's best for us. We're just focusing on what's best for us at the end of the day. And that's all that mattered. But yeah, James, you got anything to add before I close it out? No? No?
Hit the like button, guys.
Hit the like button. Thank you guys for all watching. Anything to add, James? What you got to add?
They got the JEP out there. We got our group. They got out there. We got ours.
They got what? What'd you say?
No, they got their powers and stuff. We got ours.
We got our
We
power. That's what we're working on, is building, empowering
well,
ourselves. Absolutely. I agree. In your own way, right? Because power means a lot of different things. Some people have the power to like cook, so they could transform that into money. Some people got the power to like sew and make clothes. They could transfer that into money. So it's about finding your own power and what you can do and what you're good at, and just like building your own sense of power through your own skills and through your own talents, right? So that's what we're all focusing on. So yeah. All right, y'all.
I think it would be a good idea for us to learn a little more about crypto as well,
That'd be good.
just to see
I don't know
what
anything.
where
I'm
where
so
we can
lost when it
go.
comes to crypto. I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm not that into it enough
man.
to actually start investing. Yeah, but I'm interested in it though.
hmm
I gotta start. I gotta start.
I'm all about it. It's gonna be the currency of the future. So definitely gonna be
Possibly, yeah. Universal.
definitely that's something I would definitely want to look into and stuff. There's so many like scams going on though, isn't there? I don't know. So it's kind of, we got to like weed out Thank you. Appreciate it. I hope everybody feels encouraged. I love doing this. Like, this is so fun for me. Like, I love just talking about, positive things that'll help people. And I hope that we all take something good out of it. And,
Yeah, classy.
yeah. So it's been
I
fun,
think
guys.
we need our own kind of
Thanks for
power.
having me up.
That's we working. Yeah, we're working on that.
Exactly. I agree. We need our own country, right, James? We need to buy it take money. It take money. If you want to have a country, you know how you
We
say,
need our own.
not Epstein Island. Oh my God. Somebody said that. My husband's making fun of me. But no, Ishmael. Sorry. He's making fun of me over there on my. Oh my God. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end this stream. My husband, he's making fun of me. All right.
Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
User disconnected. I've been too black, I've been too white, I've been not enough on both sides. I played tug of war like my whole life, trying to be a bridge and I start a fight. Back in '02, I had a group of friends who were like me, trying to fake a trend. Had skin fades and a nappy head, tried blonde tips with a relaxer ring. I had a whole case of burnt CDs full of NSYNC and Master P. I wore flip-flops with sagging jeans and 8 swirl cones from Dairy Queen. I had a white mom who did cornrows. Dad left, he was a no-show. Fought hard as hell to not be a stat, so some facts we kept on the low. Look, you call me a nigga, that's a no-no. At the ER, that's a chokehold. I was called that in the 6th grade by an old man when I was walking home. I was all alone, I did nothing wrong. The only thing I did was existed. Somehow that gave him permission. So I took that shot with no witness. I took that shot with no witness. I took that shot, listen. I knew some folks who were racist, who would swear to God they weren't racist, but would use me to try and justify the kind of home that they were raised in. Honestly, I don't blame them. Thought it should be me to change it, but that generational root's deep. Only God could really change it. Tried to be a thug, tried to be a prep. Did the sea walk without claiming no set. Got to where I am without making no bets. Trying to live life without making no mess. I'm busy. Don't get it twisted. I'm